Behavior issues. I get so many calls a week from clients so frustrated because their dog is unruly, pulls them on their walks, they're embarrassing, they urinate and defecate inside the house, destructive chewing, guests come over, we gotta put the dog away. It's just so annoying. All these behavior issues are a consequence of the dog thinking that it's dominant, okay? Hi, my name is Edgar Hernandez and I'm the training director for Capital Canine. And today we're going to get to the bottom of these behavior issues and how to fix them. So, before we go any further, it's very important for us to have a firm understanding of what a dog is. A dog is a pack animal. I'm sure we've heard of this. But it's important that we really understand what being a pack animal means, okay? And so, for dogs, they're incapable of understanding that we're human. They see us as these strange two-legged dogs, part of their pack. Dogs need two things, mainly two things, in order for them to be fulfilled. They need to understand that they're an active part of a pack, and they need to understand where they fit in their pack and that their pack has a pecking order, much in a way that a dog needs to understand this. And so, the first part of it, being a member of an active pack, this is pretty easy to accomplish. We set a routine with the dog, play fetch, obedience training, certain routines that we set with the dog to reiterate that they are an active member of our pack. So the second thing they need is maybe the most important and the hardest to understand. And this is for them to understand where they fit in the pack and preferably at the bottom of the pecking order. Right? The way we get there is through obedience training without treats as a reward, right? So every time that with a pack animal you give them a piece of food with your hand, you're in essence conveying this message to the dog that you're weak and incapable of leading a pack. See, the reason for this is it is quite common in a pack of dogs for the subordinate pack members, the weaker pack members, to always surrender their kill to the more dominant pack members. It is never the other way around, where the dominant figure surrenders the kill to the weaker members, right? So, remember something. Once again, a dog is not intelligent enough to understand what it's like to be human. We are intelligent enough to understand what it's like to be a pack animal if we're open to it. So, understanding this, it's very important to not give dog a piece of treat while doing these commands. So on one hand, you're showing the dog that you're dominant by making him go into these submissive positions like sitting down, right? Fantastic. But on the other hand, we're stepping on our own toes by giving a dog a treat as a reward. The dog is viewing us as weak. So, and this is instinctively. What are instincts when any animal does things without thinking, right? These are instincts, right? And so, and is exactly what a dog is. So, a dog receives a treat, sends these signals, you're weak, and once a dog sees that, then for the sanctity of their own pack, they make themselves dominant. And then once a dog makes themselves dominant, it sets off a whole chain of events. That's where the dog starts to mark territory, either by urinating in certain corners or destroying and chewing on certain corners to show that there's a dominant presence there. They become possessive of areas. This is where you see the little dogs on furniture that become very yappy and possessive because they think of themselves as a dominant presence, and in particular in these areas, they become territorial. That's why dominant dogs will pull you on walks, because instead of enjoying the walk with you as the alpha and being the follower, they're more focused on being the leader and fulfilling the role of an alpha, which is to mark territory. They want to pull you to areas where the dogs have marked territory to cover that territory up. And then they become hypervigilant, barking at everything, lungy, jumping. See, dogs jumping on people is a misconception. We think that they do this to greet us, and the reality is, while it can be a learned behavior that they experience positive outcome from jumping on people, the reality is the way a dog initially starts to jump on one is as a controlling mechanism. It's to show that they want to control you. All this mouthing and jumping and so on and so forth. So, to reiterate, once again, Obedience training without treats, you'll notice that the dog, not only will you accomplish these cool commands and you don't need treats for them, but you will also eradicate all behavior issues consistent with a dominant dog. Treat training, you'll get the dog to respond a little quicker to the commands, but you will have, in some capacity, behavior issues in your dog associated with a dominant dog. And this is where 90% of all behavior issues come from.